being mindful. I feel like in today's generation, so much people are just running through life. And of course, we're always busy or we're always in a rush. But being mindful is one of the most important things. And when it comes to being mindful, it could be to anything. It could be being mindful about having manners, being mindful about caring about others around you, being mindful if you're causing disruption, if you're being selfish, if you're hurting other people. And being mindful can really go into a lot of things. It can, like I just said, all those things. It could be anything almost. But a lot of people, they're not mindful of what they do. They're not mindful of their habits or routines sometimes. And that's what can get them into a hole, or that's what can get them into the situations that they're in. I think being mindful is a very crucial role in life, especially because nowadays so much people are just, they're not even here. It's like people are just on autopilot through the world. Something I recently just started thinking about, especially when I go out, is how no one has manners anymore. And I was being mindful of others. And the way I was raised was always to have manners, always to be respectful, always to say excuse me, open the door for people. You know, if someone's walking through the aisle, move or get out of the way, And most of the time people don't say thank you. And it is what it is. I mean, I've come to the realization that people are going to be people, and it's fine, as long as I'm doing my part, that's all that matters. But it's just the point that this is one example, but this is one example that could go into being mindful. Another thing I was thinking of is I was in a car today, and I was a passenger, and I was thinking to myself, you know how people just like speed, they speed by you, or they cut you off. It's like, be mindful of others, man. Especially because I think the world nowadays is so much selfish. The world is so selfish to themselves. You know what? I gotta get to my place first, so I'm gonna cut you off. And I understand and I get it. But what do you get through that? What do you benefit from cutting someone off? You're probably gonna go the same distance as they're going. You're probably gonna get to the same light that they're getting to. Not only can you cause a crash, you could cause an argument, and it's just like, no one is mindful nowadays. Everybody is just for themselves. And I'm not saying to be nice to everyone, but I'm saying be respectful to others and be mindful of your actions. Be mindful of what you do in life. Be mindful of the habits and routines you have. So much people nowadays are not mindful of what they do, what they eat, their habits, their routines. And I think a lot of that is especially because of just the way that this generation is being brought up. We're bringing this generation up to not have respect, not have manners, to just be total, just antisocial people, always on our phones. And this generation is truly coming to an end. Like, there's no hope for the world in reality. Everybody's for themselves, everybody's selfish. And so many people play victim. Instead of being mindful and looking at your own actions, you play the victim, And it's kind of like self-reflecting. Being mindful is essentially self-reflecting on what you're doing in life, what you could be doing. But it's so crazy to see how the world is turning out. And I truly think being mindful of others, being mindful of yourself, being mindful of just everything throughout life can truly help not only yourself, but it can help a lot of other people.